on Funniest Pets and People. A mechanical mooch. A squirrel dines al fresco. The kid gets his spider on. A dog gets his licks in. The zebra scratches just where it itches. And a woman gets the deep freeze. It's the show that will have you sick, stay, laugh, and beg for more. Welcome to Funniest Pets and People. Don't worry, batteries are included. New from Pupco, it's Clean Plate Puppy. Do you worry that your dog is not getting all the nutrition he needs by not finishing his dinner? Well, worry no more with Clean Plate Puppy. Yes, just throw a couple of batteries in this mechanical wonder and watch your dog lick his plate clean. Nothing makes a dog hungrier than the threat of another dog getting his chow. So pick up Clean Plate Puppy and rest assured that your real dog will be the newest member of the Clean Plate Club. Clean Plate Puppy. Get yours today. Mickey combines the invigorating, stress-reducing rolfing of deep tissue massage with the chakra-aligning, nerve-balancing Zen art of acupuncture with his nails. And to totally relax you, he also throws in a little purring at no extra charge. Now, Brownie here is old school. See, he doesn't care that that new dog is from the future. He doesn't know anything about aluminum alloy or hyperspace or any of that. All he knows is that in this house, there can only be one alpha male, and that's Brownie. And that little metallic doggy thinks he can walk in and own the place just because he's from the future. He has another thing coming. I don't care what you do, or how many ringers you bring in. There was no way Blinky was going to lose this staring contest. From a couple of guys who have seen The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe comes a direct-to-DVD masterpiece, The Dog, the Duck, and the Turtle. You'll wonder why it didn't get a larger release when you see The Dog, the Duck, and the Turtle. We're here at Dilly Willy's Hollywood Theater, where we substituted the regular cement celebrities are accustomed to leaving their footprints in with the new Tiny Tucker's Quick Drying Cement. Let's see if they notice. Well, look, with Tiny Tucker's Quick Drying Cement, these budding young starlets barely get the very expensive pumps in place before the super adhesive polymers in Tiny Tucker's Quick Drying Cement go to work, making them stick like taffy. So when you need cement that dries quickly, please remember to get Tiny Tucker's, the first name in quick drying cement. Boy, you'd think at some point I would stop seeking my parents' approval, but until that day, hey, Mom and Dad, look what I can do. Shadow here has great escape abilities. He can get the window open, but he always has trouble with the screen. Well, not anymore, apparently. Let's see that from a different angle. Nope, no matter how you look at it, that screen is toast.
game time. Ready for the baby? You ready for the babysitter? Ready for the baby, Lola? Go! Get the ball. Good girl.
With the baby due any moment, it was time to train the dogs to be nannies.
Thank you. Good job. Nice. Good job. Ready? Yeah.
Now all she needs to do is train them to change babies' diapers, and they're good to go. Rule number 1 of parenting: keep the candy out of the children's reach. Well, it's more of a guideline than a rule anyway.
So good, good.
Ronnie's got down, but she still is having a little problem with up. Watch it again and you'll see. Sammy is trying the latest nutritional craze called the upside-down diet. You see, the theory is that by eating upside down, the food can never make its way to your midsection. Now, Sammy is looking rather svelte, but the upside-down diet does wreak havoc with your beverage consumption. Mom's number 1 rule was no playing ball in the house. But all things being equal, playing cars in the house is even more inappropriate and dangerous. Welcome to the annual Horrible Landing Competition. We have a winner! Coming up, a bird's ball goes out. And a guy goes way over par. When we return to Funniest Pets and People. Welcome back to Funniest Pets and People. Trick or treat, here's good eats. These clips will make your life complete. Being a member of the elite force of doggy spies isn't easy. After reading the secret whereabouts of the cat's hideout, he had to eat the note so it would not fall into enemy hands. This is the part of the job one never gets used to. Baron had to do it every year. He didn't want to hurt her feelings, so he pretended to love the birthday cookie she'd made for him. Now, they may have been filled with love, but boy, were they tough to choke down. What Baron really wants for his birthday is something to wash him down with. Got milk? You do? Well, give some to Baron for goodness sake. Now, she wasn't the greatest hostess in the world. She keeps promising him cookies, but all she gives him are finger sandwiches. Manny turned up his nose at dry food and pushes a paw at the canned food. Which proves it isn't all about texture and taste. For Manny, food has to be aesthetically pleasing as well. Yep, nothing completes a dining experience better than eating off a blue t-shirt. Jasper wasn't quite sure just what was in that bowl, but anyone can see that whatever it was tail-waggingly good. and Jasper the Blue Jay agreed he just didn't have a tail to wag. While the box didn't taste like oatmeal, it was certainly apparent that it was indeed stout. It is physically impossible for a dog to think something is finger-licking good, right? But this is pretty darn close. Maybe even better. Throw it into reverse. Time for Funniest Pets and People Rewind. Crackers said winning the lottery was not going to change him one bit. Well, we all knew that couldn't be true. Crackers never used to feather his nest with currency. It's true what they say, money changes everything. Her ad said she wouldn't do windows, but it did say she wasn't afraid to really get in there and clean. And that is what I call really getting in there. After seeing this clip, I bet all the kids at the elementary school are going to stop calling them the monkey bars and start calling them the hamster bars. I sense a new trend in the naming of playground equipment. Now, when you hit a golf ball, you are supposed to yell, "4!" When you hit a bucket of golf balls, you should yell, 17! Freundleben! No racket, no net, no court, no line judge, no scoring. I tell you, seagull tennis is a whole lot less complicated than human tennis. Floyd is old school. He may live in one of those fancy prefab birdhouses that come mass-produced from the birdhouse factory, but he still insists on building an old-fashioned nest on the inside. Progress is cool and all, but there is something to be said for tradition. Now, Jack here is a fetch purist. Yeah, he'll play fetch all day long, but it has to be with a stick of his choosing, and Jack likes them fresh and from way up high. Let any old mutt fetch the sticks already on the ground. Jack will choose what he chases, thank you very much. The worst part of a road trip is there just isn't enough room in the back seat to chase your tail. So Bartholomew here is chasing the car's tail, also known as the rear windshield wiper. Well, he's either doing that or it's another rousing game of license plate bingo. Welcome to Wild Willie's Wheelbarrow Roundup. Please remember to keep your arms, legs, head, shoulders, knees, feet, and whole body inside at all times. See, that is exactly what I'm talking about, people. It's nice to see Martha using her natural ability and talents to their full potential. Because frankly, when she was growing up, her piano teacher always thought she was dogging it. Coming up, Spot tries to get a spot out. And a cat owner really rakes it in. When we return to Funniest Pets and People. Welcome back to Funniest Pets and People. Smooth moves. Hey, that kind of rhymes. You know, if you take out the V and add a PH, okay, it really doesn't rhyme at all. Do you think he's white with black stripes or black with white stripes? Doesn't really matter, because either way, he is itchy all over. The worst part about getting towels that match the carpet is that the dog can't tell them apart. I tell you, that rug really does pull the whole room together. Not content with mere sleds, Orville and Wilbur have invented a new device to completely wipe out on. You clock in, you make with the funny, you clock out. All in a day's work. Ever since he won that special auction on E-Bone, he had been impatiently sorting through the mail. There it is, an autographed team photo of the 1936 Georgia Bulldogs. You gotta love the internet. They're always trying to show their owners that they don't need a babysitter. Sure, they can walk themselves, but they seem to be forgetting that neither of them can use a can opener. Maybe a sitter isn't such a bad idea after all, huh? When Inkster heard the family was vacationing on the Canary Islands, he knew he needed to stow away, and stow away fast. Imagine, an island literally teeming with canaries. It was every cat's greatest fantasy. Suki tried to tell Inkster that the Canary Islands were just an archipelago of 7 volcanic islands under Spanish rule. But Inkster was way too busy figuring how many canaries he was going to chase. everyone thought Margaret was crazy to plant her tomatoes on the cat's fur. But think about it. No bird in their right mind will go after a tomato crop this year. Yep, the crop is on a living, breathing scarecrow.
Mamma mia, no more sauce from a jar. This year we're gonna have tomatoes.
Coming up, a cat who will bowl you over. When we return to Funniest Pets and People. Welcome back to Funniest Pets and People. Lulubelle here is really, really thirsty. Oh, she has her own water bowl, but she likes a bowl she can stick her entire head into. Plus, this one refills. See you next time.